Welcome to Affton 11 News Station,
your local source for all current community and high school events. This just in, all after-school activities taking place on the football field and or track are canceled due to technical difficulties and will be rescheduled on the lower soccer field shortly. The football field has been ruined by a sinkhole that is continuing to consume more surface area as we speak. The worst part is there is no way to halt this natural disaster. The next few home football games have been moved to away games until the county deems it safe to play football on the field. If you are wondering what a sinkhole is and how they form, here's our earth science major Noah Marks to clear all the confusion.
Sinkholes primarily occur in places with water-soluble bedrock. This bedrock becomes exposed to water and erodes away over time, creating large underground voids, such as the void that has engulfed the football field. As you can see, the cause of a sinkhole is water filtering through the soil and sand causing it to become acidic. The water slowly erodes bedrock, creating underground voids or caves that collapse or sink into the earth.
Our cover story today is one for the parents. Electronic nicotine delivery system, or more widely known as an e-cigarette, has been all the new craze amongst teenagers and young adults. According to surveys from FDA, e-cigarettes rose from 1.5% to a staggering 16% amongst high school students from 2011 to 2015. Those percentages are still rising today. And now off to our local scientist, Noah Marks, to explain what an e-cigarette looks like and how it functions.
As you can see, this is the basic diagram of an e-cigarette, displaying all the common components of a simple electronic nicotine delivery system. The mouthpiece is where the user takes the draw, the cartridge is where the nicotine-rich liquid is held, the atomizer or heating element is where the vapor is produced, and lastly the power source or battery is which provides the power to the device and a button to initiate the heating of the atomizer.
Thank you for the explanation. Now that our audience is familiar with an e-cig and their function components, here's an interview with the assistant principal at the Affton High School to give us insight on how ENDS affect students and disrupt school.
Hi, I'm Daniel Mackey. I'm here with the assistant principal, Dr. Lukey. The first question I'd like to ask is, what is the punishment for a student in possession of an e-cig on campus?
Typically, it boils down to possession versus use. Those are the two things that we really, kind of separate. Being in possession of an e-cigarette device would generate, or being in possession of tobacco would generate a consequence of, 2 days of detention just to start off. That might be where we're at. But what students need to understand is in the process of us dealing with the situation, there may be other things that connect to it. You might be insubordinate or disrespectful or kind of making a scene over nothing. We can be calm, cool, and collected and be like, hey, this is what we know. Do you have this in your possession? And yeah, I do. Then that's one thing. But if it's hey, and everybody gets loud and gets elevated, well, then there might be other things. But a first offense for possession would be a couple after school detentions. If it were to occur again where you were in possession of it, we would up that disciplinary action. Now, if you're using a device on campus, then that's different. Using would definitely be, in our opinion, something more than a detention. That would be something that would be more in line with in-school suspension, because we're a smoke-free campus, first of all. Like, you're not allowed to smoke an e-cigarette or a tobacco cigarette anywhere on campus. So not only are you violating a school policy, but you're violating a law, and St. Louis County Clean Air Act. So not allowed to have smoke on campus, and that's something that I think a lot of students and visitors who are adults who may be able to they forget about that, and we have the right to remind them, you're not allowed to smoke on campus. You need to leave the physical property to smoke a cigarette, on campus, even for those who are legally required to have it. So that's kind of where we start from there, and then, again.
All right, bye. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
A special thank you to the administration at Affton High School for taking time out of their occupied days to provide us with content to inform our audience.
Good evening, I'm Daniel. Tonight we will cover all current and upcoming sporting and recreational events occurring at Affton High School. Starting off, Ryan Myers, the girls' volleyball team manager, had this to say about the team. He says the team has really good chemistry and they are learning to grow as a group despite their 7-15 record. Sports tryouts including basketball, girls swimming, girls basketball starts in a few weeks. You can email Coach Oliver for more information about what you need and when they are. Senior night for the senior football players was Friday, October 13th, in which they took on the Clayton Greyhounds in a very close game. The following week, the Cougars got knocked out of districts by Gateway STEM. Parent-teacher conferences were October 10th and October 12th. All the parents and students figured out how to either raise their grades or keep them the same. I hope all your parents enjoyed talking to your teachers. Seniors, don't forget to order your cap and gown for graduation. You can get it during lunch, October 11th and 18th. You're required to get one or you don't graduate. Also, they are selling class rings during lunch to juniors.
Today, 3 kids in their 3D art class were supposed to be doing their papier-mâché mask project. Instead, these 3 freshman boys were crumbling up little tiny pieces of papier-mâché and slingshotting them across the room at each other. One of the boys accidentally misfired one of their shots and launched the papier-mâché ball across the room, drilling the teacher, Mrs. Cuggle, right in the eye. The ball got lodged in Miss Cuggle's eye socket. She ended up getting rushed to the hospital, needing immediate surgery. During the surgery, the surgeon had to take out her whole eyeball just to be able to reach the papier-mâché ball. The 3 freshmen ended up getting suspended for 2 weeks, which would make them illegible for the homecoming dance coming up next Friday. Mrs. Cuggle will be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Her spot will be taken by the substitute teacher, Mr. Randy. In this story, we were at the Affton High School to interview their teachers on how their students were doing in their classes. Hello, I'm Michael Mason, and today we're with Affton News Channel 11, and I have Mr. Uthoff here with us, and we're going to talk about his students and his classes. So, do you think the students work better in the morning or afternoon?
I think it really depends upon the time of day. So, if it's early in the morning, I think you have students that are still waking up, depending on what time they woke up.
Yeah.
Late in the afternoon, I don't have a 7th hour, which I find very grateful because I think 7th hour is the most chaotic hour because I think students know that it's the last hour, it's the end of the day, they're ready to go home.
Yeah.
I think you're asking the most productive?
Yeah,
I'd say the most productive is probably 3rd, 4th, and 5th hours. Right
right in the middle?
Right in the middle, yeah. So you've got 5th hour, which is kind of with that lunch. But I think 4th, 5th, 3, 4, and 5 are your most productive hours.
Okay. So according to the class averages, which class has the higher average?
Well, they're all. I've got my 3rd hour is an online class, so they're doing their own thing. But my 4th and 5th hours are my AP psychology classes, and I would argue that really average-wise, they're both right there. One day, depending upon a test or a quiz that they take, 4th hour might go up 1%, and then maybe the next day, 5th hour might go up 1 or goes down. It really just depends on the day. But they're pretty neck and neck, both of those classes.
Okay. And why, do you have any thoughts on why you think that is?
I think, again, it has to deal with, you're more alert from basically 10 o'clock in the morning till roughly about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I think they're more alert right there. I think, especially that 5th hour, they just came back from lunch, so they've kind of got some full bellies, and they're a little bit more focused. I think with that 3rd and 4th hour classes, they've woken up, they've got something in their stomach in regards to some food, but at least they're more aware and alert at that time.
So what do you notice motivates students?
There you go. Okay, what motivates students? I think it depends on what type of students you're dealing with. I think some motivators can be intrinsic motivators, where if they're taking an AP class, if they're taking a college level class, the motivator is to earn that college credit so that they don't have to take that course when they get to college. It saves them time, saves them money. Then they can focus on the classes that they want to major in. I think for some students it can be an extrinsic motivator, Again, it could be the grade, it could be it could simply just be food for some students, right? If you're doing this, then you'll get some type of food, some type of reward for that. So it really depends upon the clientele, it depends upon the students that we're dealing with for that motivator, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
That is all from the interview at the Affton High School. Back to you, Daniel.
Today in Affton High School, the principal left the district because he felt he wasn't dedicated to his fellow teachers and students, and he feels another principal could better serve the school. The principal stated this upon his departure from Affton High School. Good morning. I wanted to mention that I can't serve this school as good as the teachers and students want. I think another principal could do better than me. Some teachers agreed to what he stated, but others were curious of who will become the new principal. The new principal said there will be more interesting activities this year for the students. There will be a new soccer and baseball team, and he will apply the technology to teach the students that may help them raise their grades. We heard from the new principal and what he is planning to do. We hope he could help improve this school.
Thank you, viewers. This has been your Affton 11 news station. Tune in next week for more current events and hard news.